I'm Jed.
And I'm Sandy, and we're currently exploring the beautiful Pacific Northwest.
For our final video in the Pacific Northwest, we're headed to check out Crater Lake National Park. Good morning, everybody. Today, we are exploring Crater Lake.
So Crater Lake National Park has been on our list for a long time, and we were finally in the area, so obviously we had to stop by.
We're planning to drive the Rim Road, which is about 33 miles long. Not sure how long that's going to take.
They say to leave yourself about 2 to 3 hours to make the drive. Apparently there are tons of pullouts, about 30 along the way, lots of places to stop, lots of short little hikes that we can kind of check out with viewpoints, so no better time than now.
Our first stop this morning is at the Visitor Center. It looks like the main Visitor Center is closed and it's under construction, but they do have like a trailer and temporary Visitor Center set up. So without further ado, let's get cratered. That's what they say up here.
That's what I hear. That's what it's true. It's true.
Hello.
Hi. You got a pass there?
Yeah.
All right. Would you like a map?
Yes, please.
Okay, there you go.
So our first stop of the day is at Vidae Falls. It's right off the road. We're actually headed counterclockwise around the Rim Road. This waterfall cascades about 100 feet over a cliff that was actually carved by a glacier. It is a spring-fed waterfall, and it is here year-round except for during the wintertime when it freezes over. But we'll talk a little bit more about snowpack and how it kind of affects Crater Lake, because it's kind of important.
So our next stop is a little pull-off called Sun Notch. This trail apparently takes us out to the lake, so we're actually going to get our first views of the lake. It also takes us to see something called, what was it called?
Phantom Ship.
Phantom Ship.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we'll go out there and we'll see what it looks like, and we'll tell you a little bit about it when we get there. But this is basically a 0.8 mile hike. Pretty easy. I think it has like a little over 100 feet of elevation gain, so nothing too crazy. But let's get out here and see the lake.
Okay, I know we said this is a short hike, but we're huffing and puffing. Why, you may ask? The surface of Crater Lake actually sits at 6,400 and some change. Where we're at is probably above 7,000 feet. So when you come up here, remember the elevation. That's kind of a butt kicker too.
So just a couple cool things about the lake and how it was formed. So this lake is 1,943 feet deep, making it the deepest lake in all of the United States, and it's the deepest volcanic lake in all of the world.
Take that, world.
Yeah, we gotcha. Where this lake stands, there used to be a mountain here, or a volcano called Mount Mazama, and it was a 12,000 foot volcano that erupted about 7,700 years ago. In its place, it left this big lake, which is the caldera of the lake, of the volcano. While this volcano is dormant, they say there is a possibility that it could erupt again in the future. The last eruption of this volcano was about 4,800 years ago, I believe.
I don't know, I wasn't there to see it, so
yeah, me neither.
I'll take your word for it.
So what we're here to see on this hike is one of 2 islands that are actually in the middle of this volcanic lake. The first one is called the Phantom Ship. So this rock formation was made about 4,500 years ago, and the cool thing about it is it looks like a phantom ship.
Okay, so we made it to the Phantom Ship viewpoint. Phantom Rock is as tall as a 16-story building, and it's made out of lava rock, which supposedly never erodes. So theoretically, this thing should be here for a really, really long time. Unless the volcano explodes again, then, well, it probably won't be. I have to say the pictures do not do this place justice. Hopefully you get a general idea. The water is so blue and it looks so magnificent. It's incredible. So we're here during Labor Day, and unfortunately it's also prime time wildfire season. At this little lookout you can see how bad the smoke and the haze is from the surrounding wildfires. I know there's probably at least half a dozen wildfires currently burning near us now. They've already closed roads in California as well as some roads in southern Oregon, but hasn't gotten so bad, or the fires haven't gotten so close to Crater Lake that they've closed it yet.
So after finishing up at Sun Notch and getting back on the main rim road, we went a little further in the counterclockwise direction, and we're actually taking a little detour on Pinnacles Road. So this is a 6-mile detour out, and it's going to actually take us out to the Pinnacles Valley, where we are going to see some pinnacle formations. That sounds amazing, doesn't it? It
Might be the pinnacle of the whole trip.
That's crazy. So we made it out to the Pinnacles Trail. So this is also a pretty easy trail. It's 0.4 miles out to the park boundary and then 0.4 miles back for a total of 0.8. There really isn't any elevation gain. It's pretty flat out here. But what you're doing is walking along the top of a rim that is into a canyon here. And what you can see are these beautiful volcanic spires called the Pinnacles. So these pinnacles were formed back when Mount Mazama erupted. I don't know all the details because, you know, I'm not an expert in all this geological stuff, but basically these spires were created when the hot ash cooled and they somehow became these hard structures that stick up out of the canyon.
Hard structures?
I wanted to say phallic because they are kind of phallic. It's
fine.
It's what it is. They're phallic structures, that hard rock phallic structures that stick out of a canyon. Anyway, let's go look at these things.
So this is actually a cool little trail. Unfortunately, you can't get down into the canyon and kind of walk amongst them. Sandy was talking earlier, you know, one of the reasons why is that these things are eroding away. Not sure how long that they'll be here. And if you throw people in the mix, it could possibly speed up the erosion or destruction of these pillars or these pinnacles. But I think a little walk down through the canyon would be really beautiful. There's like a little stream going through there and it's really lush and green. You can also see right behind me Mount Scott, which sits at about just under 9,000 feet. When you think about how big Mount Mazama was, it was a pretty big volcano mountain, volcanic mountain. So there's a ton of pull-offs that you can stop in, actually get really expansive views of the lake. And it's really, really difficult not to stop at each and every one of them because each one kind of offers a unique perspective of the lake. You may see stuff that you haven't seen at the other pull-offs, so I think it's worth stopping at as many as you can.
So the next little overlook we're at is called the Pumice Castle Overlook. The Pumice Castle is one of the most colorful features here around the lake. It is beautiful orange pumice stone that has eroded away and it kind of looks like a medieval castle now. The stop itself is not labeled. It's not going to be like, oh, stop here to see the Pumice Castle. Pay really close attention to your map that they give you at the entranceway because otherwise you'll miss it. And I also here found my favorite new tree because it's really beautiful tree and it's kind of perched here hanging on to the side of the cliff. I'm in love with it because it's just so pretty. So stop here, see the castle, and hang out with my favorite tree.
So confession time, guys. We kind of made it to the park a little late this morning. We were kind of on the fence about actually coming here today, which by the way, I'm so glad we did, but we were worried about the haze and fog, and there's a little bit of haze.
And there are a lot of fires in this area, so everything is just kind of not as clear as we'd like it to be, but regardless, it is absolutely beautiful. So sorry if some of the footage isn't as nice as it would be normally, but it's worth coming even with a little haze.
That being said, there is a trail that you can walk to that goes all the way down to the shore of Crater Lake. It's the only legal access point. It's called
the Cleetwood Cove Trail?
Yeah, the Cleetwood Cove.
It's like 2.2 miles down and back. It's pretty steep. It's the only place where you can legally access the water. So you can go down there and you can go fishing, you can swim, put your feet in the water. And it's also where there is a little boat dock where they do some tours or boat tours out into the lake. And one of the tours that they do is a tour where they take you out to Wizard Island, which is the second island here in the middle of Crater Lake.
Unfortunately, they're not running at this time. They do have one that just kind of goes around the lake. Really kind of had my heart set on Wizard Island.
It's something we've always wanted to do. We've always wanted to go down, take the boat out and everything, and be able to step foot on Wizard Island and explore it a little bit. Unfortunately, not going to happen. But regardless, we are starting to get some amazing views of Wizard Island now, and we're going to continue around the northern part of the park and to the western side, where we're going to hopefully get some even better looks, and we're just going to enjoy it from here since we can't be out there. So we made it to the Watchman Overlook. The views here of Wizard Island are actually really, really great. You can see it so well. There is also a hike here called Watchman Peak Hike, so it's like 1.6 miles. You can go to the top. There's still a watchtower up there where they actively use it to watch for wildfires. So if you have the time, I think there would probably be some spectacular views up there. Unfortunately, because we didn't get started until late, we don't have time today because we still have to drive like 3 hours. But
Did promise to talk about the snowpack. Crater Lake is actually, there's nothing that feeds into it. It subsists off of rainwater and snowmelt.
Yeah. So no rivers, lakes, streams, or anything like that that go into it at all. Like, it's totally no related. But there's another cool thing about Crater Lake is there is still, like we said, active volcanic activity. Wizard Island is actually basically a new forming mini volcano within a volcano.
It's like volcanoception, if you will.
And then there's actually another cone called the Miriam Cone that's completely underwater that you can't even see.
And up next, we're donning scuba gear and we're...
No.
Okay, we're not doing that.
No. But there is, like, so there are volcanoes within a volcano. So it's actually really, really cool. I think it's a really special place.
By the way, speaking of snow, the park headquarters here gets 42 feet every year.
That's insane. So while we're talking about it, like, because we're about to wrap up this video, a couple things that we weren't able to do that we would say you should try to do when you come is, one, get in more of the hikes. We just didn't have time, so we just did a couple of the shorter ones. Two is come at night. This is supposed to be one of the darkest skies in the country, so it would just be probably really, really amazing to see at nighttime. And then the other thing is the boat ride. And what was the other one that we wanted to talk about? Oh, come in winter.
Oh, yes.
Because of all that snow that they get here. Apparently this is amazing for snowmobiling and snowshoeing, and I've seen a couple pictures of it covered in snow, and I bet you it would be amazing. All right, guys, so we have seen what we have come to see here at Crater Lake National Park.
It's getting late, so it's time to head back to civilization.
Yeah, we've still got about a 3-hour drive ahead of us to get to where we're going today, so we need to get going on that. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, sign up for notifications, and until the next time,
Stay wonderful.
Call it a day.